watch it.
Okay, chain restaurants aren't usually known for their desserts, but there are some that stand out. Let's bite into 10 chain restaurant desserts you need to try before you die. P.F. Chang's Fire and Ice.
Well, better get moving.
Aren't we forgetting something?
Despite how good P.F. Chang's may be, you probably don't think of this chain when you think of rich desserts. Sushi and other Asian-inspired dishes like pad thai and orange chicken are what P.F. Chang's is most famous for, and they certainly are delicious.
Oh, orange chicken. Playing hardball.
But when it comes to desserts, the P.F. Chang's Fire and Ice is on an entirely different level. This is not the type of dessert you'd expect to find just anywhere, much less at a franchise restaurant. However, the dessert is definitely worth sampling. The dessert is drenched in rum and set on fire when it's served to make it even better. It contains chilled vanilla ice cream and moist, scrumptious bread pudding. Yes, it's rather spectacular to behold. Even though the bread pudding is already really tasty, when you add ice cream, chocolate, and actual flames, it elevates to one of the finest desserts you've ever had. Olive Garden's Tiramisu.
And now it looks professional.
That's really impressive. It's beautifully done.
One of the most famous Italian desserts is tiramisu, a light and airy, coffee-soaked layer cake filled with a sweet mascarpone cream and topped with a delicate layer of chocolate. There's one chain restaurant that truly excels when it comes to this Italian classic. Yes, we're talking about Olive Garden. Many factors make Olive Garden a popular restaurant. There's the breadsticks, which seem to have their own fan club, the salad, which comes with an addictive dressing and can be topped with Parmesan, there's the variety of soups, which will more than satisfy you, and we haven't even mentioned all the pasta and appetizer choices.
Very tasty.
I'll tell them.
But what about Olive Garden's dessert menu? There are certainly a lot of alternatives at the chain, but are any of them worthwhile? There's one that most definitely is, which makes sense given that it's an Italian dessert. The Olive Garden website describes their tiramisu dessert as a layer of creamy custard piled over espresso-soaked ladyfingers. The Olive Garden tiramisu is a classic dessert, so even if you're not the biggest coffee enthusiast, you should still give it a try. Of course, if you love coffee, this dessert will be ideal for you. Buffalo Wild Wings Loaded Ice Cream.
So if I mess this up, there's nothing else for dessert?
When you think of Buffalo Wild Wings, you probably think of, well, chicken wings and a fun atmosphere. The restaurant is known for its large wings, which are served in a variety of flavors such as hot and spicy, barbecue, honey garlic, and more. If you've ever eaten at a Buffalo Wild Wings location, you've probably noticed that the chain restaurant has somewhat of a laid-back atmosphere. After all, it is a wing restaurant / sports bar. Despite this, everything on the menu, not just the wings, is incredibly delicious. Yes, the wings and the variety of flavors they come in are undoubtedly excellent, but the other foods are also incredible, including the burgers, sandwiches, wraps, and appetizers.
So delicious.
You'll probably be surprised by one must-have, though. Buffalo Wild Wings serves a really original dessert choice called loaded ice cream. And while it seems straightforward, the taste combination is so effective that it could even make for something you'd see served at the county fair. The loaded ice cream is made of vanilla ice cream and is covered in cinnamon sugar, chocolate, and caramel sauce. Oh, and fried tortilla strips. Again, it may not seem like much, but it really is amazing. New to our channel? Then make our day and hit that subscribe button. Thanks. BJ's Pizookie.
It's enough to make anyone crazy.
Despite the fact that BJ's Brewhouse has a sizable menu, its most well-known dish is a dessert, and not just any dessert. You shouldn't overlook this sweet treat when you visit BJ's Brewhouse, since it was actually invented there, or at least the catchy name was. You may choose from a variety of flavors of the now famous pizza cookie known as the Pizookie, all of which are likely to tempt you. Don't overindulge on the pizza, burgers, pasta, and appetizers the next time you visit BJ's Brewhouse, because you'll want to leave room for dessert. The Pizookie is exactly what it sounds like, a warm, freshly baked cookie served in a deep dish pizza pan with ice cream and, depending on the flavor of the cookie and what complements it best, other toppings. Additionally, the Pizookie cookie flavor options are rather unique. There are traditional tastes like chocolate chip, cookies and cream, strawberry shortcake, as well as seasonal ones like a fall-themed cinnamon apple. So absolutely give a BJ's Pizookie a try and see for yourself why the Pizookie is so famous. Outback Steakhouse's Caramel Cookie Skillet.
That does sound good.
Outback Steakhouse is best recognized for its down-under theme, as well as for one particular appetizer called the Bloomin' Onion, which is always a crowd favorite. A huge selection of mouth-watering meals, sides, and beverages are also available at Outback Steakhouse. That said, you should still reserve space for dessert, since Outback has one sweet dish that you must devour, even if you have to share it with a companion. It really is that fantastic. It may seem straightforward, but the salted caramel cookie skillet, which is similar to a Pizookie from BJ's Brewhouse, is far more intricate than you may think. It's not just a basic cookie, though. A warm, salted caramel cookie with bits of white chocolate, almond toffee, and pretzels is how it's described. Vanilla ice cream is then added on top. In a nutshell, it's entirely outrageous and wonderful. The Cheesecake Factory's Peanut Butter Cup Fudge Ripple Cheesecake.
Well, can I come in? I bought you some cheesecake.
It's undeniable that visiting the Cheesecake Factory is an experience, and you know you're probably leaving there quite stuffed. It goes without saying that the Cheesecake Factory is known for its cheesecake, but the chain also has one of the most extensive menus around. So even though the famous cake is in its name, you can choose from a number of tasty items like fried macaroni and cheese bites, guacamole egg rolls, noodles, fried chicken, monstrous burgers, and more.
It's good.
There are 2 pages of different cheesecakes listed on the menu, so there are clearly many options to select from when it comes to dessert. You should still try the one that is unquestionably the finest, even if you aren't the world's biggest fan of peanut butter. Undoubtedly, the greatest cheesecake on the menu, which is saying a lot, is the Peanut Butter Cup Fudge Ripple Cheesecake. According to the Cheesecake Factory website, the dish is creamy cheesecake streaked with caramel, peanut butter, Butterfinger pieces, and Reese's peanut butter cups. Yes, this cheesecake is quite the beautiful monstrosity. Cracker Barrel's Fruit Cobbler.
Did you change the recipe?
Little bit.
Cobbler is a famous American dessert specialty. It's a dessert that is a pastry base baked in an oven and topped with whipped cream or fruit preserves. Fruit cobbler is often made with simple ingredients: flour, butter, eggs, sugar, etc., and is often flavored with lemon or strawberry. However, the ordinary ingredients used in a cobbler may vary depending on where you order it. You should know by now that Cracker Barrel makes excellent comfort food. They kind of excel at it. The restaurant franchise offers burgers, meatloaf, chicken and dumplings, fried fish, fried chicken, and more. But in addition to all those savory choices, Cracker Barrel also sells a few sweets, albeit not all of them particularly stand out. The cobbler is one dessert at Cracker Barrel that you should try, though. You won't find anything in a restaurant that comes close to this, and after you sample it, you'll understand why. The most hearty, delicious, and substantial dessert available is the fresh fruit cobbler from Cracker Barrel. And despite the fact that Cracker Barrel is a franchise, you should still put the peach cobbler on your dessert list. A scoop of vanilla ice cream is served alongside the fresh fruit, which has been baked with sugar and covered with a crispy crust-like covering. You definitely shouldn't skip this Cracker Barrel specialty. That much is certain. Red Lobster Key Lime Pie.
When was the last time you ate a lemon meringue pie?
Lemon drizzle cake?
I'm sorry, are you talking about lemons?
There's no ignoring the fact that almost everyone has a certain chain restaurant that will always be their go-to, regardless of how big a foodie you may be. In general, chain restaurants are dependable, reasonably priced, and, to be honest, usually fairly good. There's nothing wrong with chain restaurants, even though they aren't particularly fancy, and you can undoubtedly get tastier meals at a high-end or local establishment. Additionally, chain restaurants typically feature quite spectacular menus with many options. Their menus may be so wide and varied that you may not have even considered their dessert selections before. Take, for instance, the neighborhood classic, Red Lobster. The next time you visit Red Lobster, be careful not to overindulge in those complimentary biscuits, because despite how enticing the rest of the menu is, there's one dessert you should not pass up. Yes, the rumors are true. Red Lobster's Key Lime Pie is truly amazing. It's a straightforward dessert, but it's also incredibly flavorful, and it's the ideal way to cap off a hearty seafood meal. The Key Lime Pie at Red Lobster has the same excellent crumbly graham cracker crust, creamy lime filling, and sweet tart raspberry sauce as any other key lime pie. Once more, do yourself a favor and do not miss this dessert. Maggiano's Warm Apple Crostata.
You smell good.
The crostata is unquestionably a winner when it comes to a delectable mix of cream or fruit filling wrapped in a flaky pastry. The Italian-style tart known as a crostata can be produced in any size the chef chooses and can be filled with a variety of fruit ingredients. This means that the crostata may either take the dessert spotlight as a plate-sized Italian tart topped with a glaze, or served as a bite-sized companion to a freshly produced sorbet. The crostata may be served with seasonal fruit, a wide variety of preserves, and even canned fruits and jams from the store, since the pastry can be made with just about any form of fruit filling. The versatility of the crostata makes it suitable for a wide range of events. If you've ever eaten there, then you already know that Maggiano's is a little more upscale than the typical chain restaurant. In essence, Maggiano's is not Olive Garden, and even though their entire menu is packed with delectable dishes of both classic and contemporary Italian cuisine, there's one dessert item on the menu you must try at least once. Avoid overindulging in bread and pasta because this Maggiano's dessert will blow your mind. The Maggiano's Warm Apple Crostata is a typical classic crostata packed with sweet cinnamon apples and encased in a flaky, buttery crust. Vanilla bean ice cream is then placed on top, and the dish is accompanied by a mouth-watering caramel sauce. As if that weren't tantalizing enough, critics agree that this dessert is the greatest dessert item available at Maggiano's. People genuinely love it. So if you ever visit a Maggiano's, be prepared to wow yourself with this dessert. Logan's Roadhouse Big Old Cheesecake.
Take it outside.
Much like other chain restaurants, Logan's Roadhouse features a big menu, although the emphasis obviously leans toward the steaks and other meals. But if you ever visit Logan's Roadhouse, reserve room for dessert because they've got one dish on their dessert menu that could surprise you since it's so delicious and deceptively easy to make. The Big Old Cheesecake is not only a staple at Logan's Roadhouse, but it's also incredibly tasty and well-liked. A towering slice of traditional, velvety, New York-style cheesecake atop a graham cracker crumb crust, garnished with fresh strawberries and whipped cream, is how the dessert is described on the website. Yes, it may seem straightforward, but every cheesecake enthusiast is aware that there's a big distinction between mediocre cheesecake and amazing cheesecake. And to no one's surprise, Logan's Roadhouse's cheesecake is actually rather good. One of the nicest desserts available is undoubtedly a straightforward yet luscious cheesecake. Stay for seconds and tap or click another great video. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join our notification squad.